it's Eleanor from Custard and today is meant to be a vlog, but sadly I haven't filmed anything because all I've been doing is working. I've been trying to catch up on bits for college and trying to be doing things for trying to get a job, so I haven't actually vlogged anything because there's been nothing interesting to vlog. Hopefully next week there'll be much more of an interesting vlog up, but this week I decided to share some of my kind of how to work tips that I have been using over the past few days. Tip 1 is to sit at a table or a desk. I always find that when I'm working on my bed, I never seem to get things done. I get really easily distracted and it's just, I never get as much work done as I should. So I could spend like 3 or 4 hours on my computer typing on my bed, but I wouldn't get anything done. I'd just kind of end up on YouTube or end up watching some Netflix, or I just wouldn't get the work done that I needed to be done. Whereas when I'm sat at a table, I kind of feel more like I can work and like I can do more productive work. So I advise sitting at a desk. Step 2 is to keep tidy. My desk is always very, very tidy. I always make sure that I have my computer and my book and then my pencil case, but everything's always in the pencil case or in the book, or my computer is always kept neat and tidy. Everything's always in its place where it needs to be. This way I don't feel like I'm getting distracted, I don't feel like I'm playing with pens or kind of everything's everywhere. Also it kind of keeps my brain feeling tidy. There's less clutter, so I feel less stressed and anxious about the clutter that's there. Step 3 is to get rid of all mobile devices and to get rid of everything that will distract you. I get distracted so easily and I procrastinate to high heaven all the time. So I really, really advise putting your mobile phone away, putting it downstairs, putting it in a box, and turn it on silent so you don't feel the urge to go and check it, because that's my biggest downfall. I'll see there's a message on my phone and be like, I'll just check it, and then you're in like a swarm of text messages and you're in like a tornado and there's a massive shitstorm going down. You're like, I can't leave now, I'll just get my work done later, and then it's massive regret because later comes and you haven't got your work done. Step 4 is to put on some quiet music. But when I say quiet music, I don't mean like your favourite band, because I always find when I put on my favourite band, then I kind of sing along, I get really distracted, and then I get no work done. So I advise maybe putting on some classical music or some music you've never heard of. Maybe a friend has suggested a band, put that on and give it a listen while you're doing your work. Put it on quietly so that it's not too distracting. Step 5 is I always get a cup of tea. When I feel like things are getting too much, say you've been doing the work for a couple of hours and you've gotten to the point where you're just like, I would go get yourself out of the house, go get a cup of tea, go on a walk, just do something that will distract you just for half an hour, and then come back to your work and get back on. That way you've cleared your mind, you've cleared your brain, and you just feel much better about doing some more work. Step 6 is to make a list of what you've got to do. I always do this. This is the one thing I always do, and then I stick it on my wall to make sure I know what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. That way you can tick it off and you can cross things out and you can see your workload decreasing. This will also help with kind of the thought that you are getting stuff done. It's not as if you're doing work, doing loads and loads of work and nothing's getting done. You can see the work decreasing. So I always find that that is a very, very good way to do it. I sometimes even break down big chunks of work, so I have more points on my list, but that's also more to tick off, so I feel more motivated to get more done because obviously things are being crossed off my list. Step 7 is to remember why I've got to get something done and the consequences if I don't get something done. This always helps me automatically get into the mindset of doing some work, because I panic and think, Jesus, if I don't get this done, I might fail my course. I might end up with more work later on, and that's always something I've found, that if I'm just like, oh, I'll leave it and I'll do it tomorrow, then tomorrow comes along and I've got another piece of work to do on top of the other piece of work I've got to do already. So I would just advise getting it done when you're given it. Admittedly, I need to take my own advice there because I don't do that, but I really, really, really advise giving that a go, because otherwise you're going to end up with a mountain of work, and that's not good because that stresses you out even more. Step 8, and the last step, is to have an incentive to get your work done. I always do this. So today my incentive to get all of my work done is that there's a new Supernatural episode out. So if I get all my work done today, I can sit down and watch Supernatural later. That is what then keeps me going throughout the day. It makes me want to work, and hopefully I will get all of my work done and then be able to sit down and watch Supernatural later. Anyway, they've been my tips for studying. I really hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you next week with another vlog. Bye!